Right. And speaking of that, the key to New York, right? How you feel about the mayor of New York thinking about taking that key back from Diddy?
To somebody that was partially responsible for 9 kids dying at a major university, city college here in New York. How do you get somebody a key to that? How do you get somebody a key? Him getting the key, a woman comes on television saying, on YouTube saying that he beat her. They got investigators, bruh. They had all this information on Puff, man, before they did all that shit. But it was his money. It was the people that he was involved with that led them to do some of those things. And it was about political gain. He don't want to say anything against Puff anyway because Puff got shit on him. I've gotten calls from 2 different women who told me that they were trying to press charges against Puff and wanted to come on my platform and tell the people what he done to them.
Diddy might really be shaking in his boots now because Gene Deal, his ex-bodyguard, ain't playing around no more. Gene's been spilling all the tea, exposing Diddy's wild past, and now he's ready to testify against him. Yup, you heard that right. Deal ain't holding back. And he's fully prepared to air out everything in court if it comes down to it. Forget loyalty. Gene is all about making sure the truth sees daylight.
Diddy and Tupac murder. How you feel about that?
Well, if Tupac family hired investigators, and a lot of times investigators, they get more information out of people and from people than the cops do. You understand what I'm saying? So now, they may go back and listen to some of the Art of the Dialogue interviews, especially about that check that Zip had. And the investigators will try to find out where it came from, why it came, and who gave it, and what was the reason it was gave it, because they are trying to implicate Zip as being the person that got the money that Keefe D was supposed to get. Now, this is what the internet, this is what Greg Kading, this is what all the people are saying. Gene Deal is not saying that. Gene Deal said, yeah, I saw the check for $1 million. And I told y'all what the check was for, because Zip told us for Black Ground Records, Barry Hankinson, and old boy gave it to me. So now it comes out years later that Puff paid somebody $1 million and gave it to Zip, but it was supposed to go to Keefe D now. Now, where that shit came from, I don't know. But maybe Tupac family want to do some research they self and find out they self. You get what I'm talking about?
Right. But with everything that you know, right, what do you think Tupac family should be mad at Diddy about?
I think the family should be mad at Diddy creating the atmosphere, as well as Suge Knight. And Pac had a lot to do with it himself. Pac had a lot to do with it himself. Because Pac knew that Big had nothing to do with him being shot that night. And Big didn't know anything about it. So, yeah, they should be upset with Diddy and Suge for creating the atmosphere to sell records, as well as the media. But Pac has a lot to do with that too.
Speaking of Big, and I don't know if this is true or not, but maybe you can tell me, because I always heard this rumor. Is it true that the main girl in the Big Papa video is a transsexual?
Yeah. That's the girl. Yeah.
It was a transsexual in there, and she ended up getting killed.
Yeah, I heard the same thing too, man. I think that that gingerbread, the transgender that killed themselves or whatever. Yeah, but it was a transgender way back then.
And no one knew she was a transsexual.
I guess not. Or somebody did know that, but didn't tell the artist. They played like that, man. That was what was that it wasn't Hype Williams, was it? It was one of those guys who was big at that time and they was doing all kind of videos. What's the director that did the video? Was it Hype Williams or that other guy? Benny Medina, Benny something?
Nah, it wasn't Benny Boom. I can tell you that now. Let me look it up. Hype Williams.
A lot of them dudes was into that lifestyle, man. And you can't tell me that they didn't know. They probably knew, but they ain't tell the artist that. The artist don't pick the dancers in the video. But it was a transgender.
That's the Diddy effect. Just like that, anything Diddy touches turns gay.
He wasn't only groomed by Diddy, he was groomed by L.A. Reid, the rest of them too, man. Because they knew what happened. Then they came out and brought him back, and all of a sudden, he's getting all the great tracks. He's getting all the songs. They making him into this star, even though he may have been abused.
They seem to be pretty good friends.
Well, they probably is.
I mean, they did a lot of work together, man, throughout their whole career. You know, Puff was early in his career. Puff and Usher were working together when Usher was just a kid, all the way up. I mean, you know, I think there's videos from not too long ago when they were together, and you know, Puff is making jokes about how they used to wrestle for the Frosted Flakes in the morning, and
yeah, I bet they did.
you know,
Somebody frosted somebody frosted somebody flakes. Without the milk.
what do you think it is that keeps Usher from coming out or saying anything?
Because, yo, dog, it's you got to realize in that industry, a lot of people are stand back and say, well, it happened to me. That's how some of them people pay their dues. And the people who don't go down like that don't be as great as the Ushers, as the Diddys. It's a way of passage to certain people in the entertainment business.
With all these people coming out against Diddy, do you think more people are going to come out?
It's a lot of people that, you got to realize is that everybody think, oh, everybody's coming out now. It's a lot of people that wanted to bring stuff out long time ago, but the lawyers wouldn't take it. The lawyers wouldn't deal with it. Cassie opened up a floodgate for lawyers to look at people's cases now and say, yeah, we might can get some money out of that. We might can do that. Yeah, he did abuse you. Nobody really cared at first. But now they see that a lot of this stuff may have some truth to it and the people can be paid for it. They coming out.
I've seen that you've actually talked to some victims behind the scenes.
Yep.
I mean, without naming any names, you know, what all can you tell me about that?
Well, I don't want to talk about what they confided in me, but it's a lot of stuff that has been going on. And like there's tapes that are running around with women There's tape that is running around with women, and they want to get a hold of those tapes, so they could bring them, you know, to the lawyers. And those tapes do exist, but it's going to be hard for them to get, because a lot of people don't want them to know that they was in those tapes and they was a part of it. But it is what it is.
Speaking of tapes, Little Rod says he has a ton of video footage and that Diddy had him following him with a camera, doing all types of these illegal activities. Was there cameras around a lot back in the day?
Nah. You know, back in the day, they didn't do that. They didn't even allow people to take pictures, hardly. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have those cameras like that. There was a few cameramen, Alex and this Spanish dude, they was allowed to take certain pictures.
If you went to Diddy party, know that Diddy got a 4K video of you at the bathroom.
But only when you told, they asked you to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, there's footage. There's footage. I have a tape of the party that Diddy gave after Shine was convicted.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Diddy threw a party for him beating his case, I take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything on there, or it's just a normal party?
Just a normal party.
I mean, you know, was this just a normal party, or was this like a Diddy party?
It's a normal party. It's a normal Diddy party. Because you got to realize he was normal back then. He was
Okay.
he was the normal Diddy back then. Now he Brother Love.
Okay, well, I guess there was a situation with Diddy and a rapper, and they were in a hotel room for hours.
Who's that?
That you kind of talked about. I believe it was Ja Rule.
No, bro. No. Stop it. Yo, Cam. Diddy had Sarah and Sarah's girlfriend, right? He was trying to use them to go at Ja Rule so Ja Rule could go at Jay-Z. He was trying to set Ja up and try to have those girls, you know, throw themselves on Ja Rule in the hotel room, and they was all in the room together. When I got into an altercation with a guy who tried to get in the room, Puff and Ja Rule ran out. And when they ran out, because of the commotion, they was grabbing towels because they was naked when they came out. So he was in there, they both was in there with women.
Okay, I see. I kind of seen you touch on this a little bit, but there was, you know, with the whole Wolf and BMF situation.
Well,
is there anything you could talk about with that?
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Wolf wanted to move on and started a club. Him and a guy, Mike Sally, was going to invest in this club. It was 321 they was going to buy.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming.
So,
Well, I was there when Farnsworth Bentley got his actual name. How they came up with the name and everything. We were sitting in front of the apartment building on 74th and Park Avenue. It was me, him, Tony De Niro. Puff was upstairs. They was trying to figure out, he had became Puff, one of Puff's personal assistants. You understand? To make sure all Puff shit is there when we get ready to go. Everything that was supposed to be in order. That was Farnsworth Bentley's job. When Puff has to go to restaurants or place like that, you know, he made sure everything was straight with that. You know what I'm saying? And he had another assistant too. But Farnsworth Bentley was his personal assistant, put out his clothes, told him what he should wear, all that, like a stylist and personal assistant all together, you know? So we was in front of the house, and this dude, Tony De Niro, he played guitar in that Bad Boy for Life. The black dude, not the white guy, the black dude who played the guitar, that's Tony De Niro. I think he might be from California or something. So Tony De Niro was like, yo, we gotta think of a name for you, man. And if you're gonna be his personal assistant and slash butler slash umbrella carrier, whatever you gonna do, you understand? We gotta think of a name for you. We're gonna try to make you like Bentley or either Farnsworth or either Bentley. You gotta be, you gotta have that kind of persona. You gotta dress all the time, be neat and the whole 9 yards. And then the dude, Derek, was playing with him like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know how to do that. I could be over the top. He was acting like that. You know what I'm saying? I could be over the top. So he was saying that. And the dude, Tony De Niro, said, we got to figure out a name for you, man. It's got to be on the level of, those characters.
Diddy got a kink for royalty. What kind of twisted slavery thing is this? Diddy forcing his staff on a 1940s uniforms is crazy.
He said, you got to be like Farnsworth. You got to be like Bentley. He said, fuck it, we're just going to call you Farnsworth Bentley. And he said, I like it. And they start calling him that. His name Farnsworth Bentley. And I said, these motherfuckers corny. Like I was like, yo, believe this. But he was always right there, but not like at nighttime when we was at doing things, he wasn't around, bro. He was only there when the cameras was there and shit like that. I don't know how much he could do. I don't know if he would say anything because he probably signed the ND, a non-disclosure, and he don't want to say anything against Puff anyway because Puff got shit on him. And I ain't talking about no sexual shit, none of that shit. The nigga was stealing, bro. Yo, bro. The niggas I don't want to put that on sticky fingers. That nigga right there, bro, don't lay nothing down around him. You heard me? Don't lay nothing down around dude right there. Dog, Jennifer Lopez had these boots, they cost $5,000. I'm like, what kind of fucking boots cost $5,000? Now you gotta realize, this is like in 2000, early 2000s. These boots cost $5,000. And because she was gonna be out of the country or something like that, she didn't have them come to her house down in the village because she would have never got it because they'd be stealing her stuff down there at her apartment. So she had them come to Puff house. She wanted these boots so bad, she was mad. They looked through everything trying to find Jennifer boots. Cause Puff had like Puff, people used to just give him shit and send him shit from everywhere. So he had this room, this mail room in his house with numbers just that he never even opened. But I don't know how Farnsworth Bentley found that shit. But we went over there to his house and we found a lot of Jennifer shit and everybody else's shit that belonged to Puff. I guess Puff had too much stuff in the room and he was just keeping them for it.
And you seen this with your own eyes? That's crazy, man.
My own eyes, bro. We went to his apartment.
He don't even seem like that type of dude, yo, but damn.
Security also, we went over there, man. They had to do shit, bro. And that's why Puff had stopped messing with him. And then he goes get a show. Puff ain't say nothing. He went and got a show of how to be teaching thugs how to be the gentleman. I hope the first thing he taught them on
outside the award show. I think the one outside the award show, Tupac and Suge, they pulled up in a red Hummer, and Tupac got out and he started yelling at Biggie. And you said somebody named C Gutter pulled out a gun on Tupac. And I think the one inside the awards show, you said that y'all seen Tupac and Suge, and when you look to the side of you, Puffy disappeared. And I did an interview with Napoleon, and he told me that Tupac told him that when Puffy seen him, he ran. And I think Napoleon told me that Puffy ran inside a tour bus. That's what Tupac told him. So from your point of view, man, what happened?
Well, you talking about the 96 Soul Train and the 97 Soul Train. The 96 Soul Train Awards, right? One of the officers, and I'm just gonna call him Bun, he was at the 96 Soul Train Awards with me, and he was right next to Big. And this is based on his accounts, right? Now this guy is a decorated, he's a decorated officer, he's been an officer for over 30-some years. And if I'm gonna believe somebody, I'm gonna believe what he tells me. You understand? And I've been knowing him since '86. So now, he tells me, cause we're riding back in the limousine with Puff now. Cause Big and them left him out there.
Big ran with Puff on the wrong days. I just hope he stayed with Tupac and switched teams, cause at the end of the day, Biggie died, cause Diddy got him into LA.
He told me, as far as Pac came over there talking about, nah, what, West Side and all this other shit like that. And a woman walked past Big. And when this woman walked past Big, she said, oh, now, Tupac is here. He said, Ma, I ain't scared. I ain't scared of him. You understand? And he said, Pac started saying, nah, what, you fat motherfucker, like that. And Big started saying, what, you know what I'm saying, went back and forth like that. Now, Suge Knight and them, they coming towards. And he said, for no reason, well, you know, you don't know what Suge gonna do, you don't know what, but C Gutter pulls out the gun. When C Gutter pulled out the gun, the Nation of Islam got in the middle of it. And they stopped all the bullshit. I don't know if Suge seen the gun or not. I don't know. But even C Gutter, when he got out of jail, he went on another platform and he said, yeah, I pulled the gun out on Suge. He said it himself. You understand? There were stories that going around saying Keefy D did it. Keefy D wasn't even with us at the time. So now, me and Puff heard the altercation over the radio, right? We hear the altercation over the radio. We running towards that direction. When we get close to the corridor, but prior to that, we had an altercation with some guys from the Nation of Islam. And if it wasn't for Mustafa, Farrakhan's son, it would have been an issue. You understand? He got into the brother's face and had to tell him like 2 or 3 times to back up. And then next thing you know, all the Nation of Islam started running over there to where he was at. Cause that's Farrakhan's son, and he runs the shit. So now, we leave going down the corridor. And so then Puff, I could see Suge and them, right? So they coming at the top of the stairs, right? They coming to the top of the stairs. So they trying to gather their whole crew up and make sure they good. Puff is on my left side of me. He's on the left side of me. So I said, yo, my man, just take care of my family. Just like that. I got these niggas. Just like that, real talk. And I put both of my hands in my jacket like this. And when we got to the end of the corridor where the embankment goes down, where you see the TV medias and stuff like that, and the trucks with the media and everything like that. And Suge is right there about 15, 20 yards, something like that. You know, if from the end of the steps, they start walking towards this way, and we at the beginning of the corridor where you can see the big entrance. Puff jumps down the embankment right there and start running behind the media.
So I just put my back against the wall, and they just walked by. Didn't say nothing like that. Cause I wasn't gonna say nothing until they walked past me. So when they walked past me, I was like, yo, where you going? Where you going? And I just seen them running, you know, through the trucks and jumping in between the media vans and stuff like that, and the media trucks. So he seen the limousine. I didn't go that way. I just went straight out. I seen the limousine out there. He ran and he jumped in the limousine. So he started calling. Me and Bun came. We got in the limousine with him, and we went back to the house. You know what I'm saying? And when we went back to the house, that's when he had said that shit about Big, Pac, and all that other shit. He was trying to call Big on the phone, talking about what happened, and Big kept hanging up the phone on him.
So that's what it is then. Do you think that's what Tupac is referring to when he told Napoleon that Puffy ran on the tour bus when he seen him?
They couldn't have seen it, bro. They couldn't have seen because they was already in. They just going by accounts that somebody told them. You understand what I'm saying? But anybody who was with Pac and Suge them, unless they was left in the car, you know how you leave your driver, people in the car, you wouldn't have known that Puff ran unless you was somebody with the drivers or you with their cars and seen him ran and get in the limousine. All that shit that he ran up under the cars and truck. Now he ran through the corridors and he ran through the cars. He ran through all that shit like that.
Yeah, man. When I did that interview with Napoleon, man, that's what he told me, man. He said that Tupac told him that Puffy ran, and you said that Puffy ran inside a car. So at some point, Tupac had to see Puffy run into a vehicle at some point, right?
Yeah, he ran. If you've been to those engagements, you know the news medias have all their vans lined up, the media vans. You understand? So if he had to duck up under something to get there or whatever like that, he did it. He was trying to get, and you know they had their shit closed off. So he probably had to duck up under one of those things to get there because they don't have it where you could just walk through there, because if you walk through there, you can get in the place free. So he had to duck up under something to get to the parking lot.
And I heard they wouldn't even let Tupac get his award because Tupac, he won the award for Me Against the World that day, but they wouldn't let him go on stage
That's
and get
not
his
true.
award, right?
Tupac was on stage. In '96, he was on stage to get his thing. Look at it. They didn't show it. They didn't show it. But he was on stage to get that award. He had the army jacket on and all that shit. Pac was on stage, bro. They didn't show it.
And Biggie, he performed at that award show, right?
I just wish Biggie stayed alive to see what we're left with. Diddy accused of SA, Drake accused of minors, Kendrick accused of domestic violence, the list goes on.
Big performer. He performed in my shoes. Those shoes he had on, they put that shit in the Notorious movie. That shit never went down like that. I was laughing at them niggas. They was begging me. The dudes from 5001 was begging me. You know what I'm saying? Because Puff told them they wasn't going to get paid for shit. If Big go, because Big wanted to go out there in his Timbs. He said, I'm going to do this shit Brooklyn style. He wanted to go out there in his Timbs. And Puff said, if he go out there in them Timbs, I ain't paying y'all shit. Them niggas promised me that they was going to give me, make a suit for me. Or, you know, make a suit for me because they had took over from what Miguel was doing. So they had the industry on lock doing clothes and stuff for him. And because I knew my man Guy, and Guy used to be one of the financiers of Same Gang, because whenever, you know, my man D would ask him for something, Guy would piece him off some money. So I let him use them. And when I came back, that's when Big he had stepped on the back of my shoes and shit like that, and I cussed his ass out. But he performed. He performed out there.
Did you see that TV series Unsolved, man? Because in that series, man, they portrayed it like Keefe D is the one that pulled out the gun on Tupac and Suge outside the Social Wars, not C Gutter.
They got a lot of shit wrong in that movie. They got a lot of shit wrong in murder rap. Those were people who came along 10 years later listening to crooked cops and people who didn't know what the hell they was talking about. And now you find people coming out and saying, well, that didn't happen. Well, it happened like this. Keefy D said he wasn't even there. See Gutter come out and say, yo, that was me who did it. A convicted felon. He come out and say, I'm the one who did that. So they got a lot of shit wrong. Just like they got the wrong that the car pulled up beside Bignan when it was car planted there the whole night.
You and Greg Caden, man, what's the issue between you and Greg Caden? Because I always see y'all both going back and forth, man.
I don't have a beef with him. Greg Caden on my level of beef with him. I was a witness to a crime. He's somebody who came along 10 years later and took things that he found, took official documents. He didn't go through the freedom of information or nothing like that, that's where I know of. Took official documents, wrote a book about a culture he don't respect, that he knows nothing about, and he painted pictures and lied. He painted pictures and lied on people to make $1. Go around the world with this facade that he found Tupac killer and Biggs killer, and here it is, no agency will take the people that he said who committed those crimes to jail. Shit, Bill Cosby had more money than Puff. He went to jail. He tried to say, because Puff make too much money, they don't want to take it to court. Get out of here. Your evidence is a theory that you made up on crooked cops. When in fact, an FBI agent pointed this out clearly. Phil Carson. Because see, this is what they try to do. There were two, when they gave me a 6-pack, they said, so do anybody on this picture look like the person that you saw that night? I said, no. They said, well, if you had to pick somebody in this picture, what would be closest, who would look close, who would look something like him? Other than his complexion, this dude right here. And I'm talking about the high cheekbones that he have and the peanut head. You understand? And then next to the tape they had taping me illegally. They were taping me illegally. It clicks off. Click. When it clicked off, what happens? They looking stupid, both of the officers. Because now they got to tell me that they taping me, and now they want to change the tape. You understand what I'm saying? When they move the cover back, they got pictures all over the bed and the tape recorder. So my lawyer is discussing with them that New York is not a two-party state. You have to inform an individual that they're going to be on tape. She's going through the legal stuff with them. Eloise Nurse. She's going through the legal stuff with them. You understand? And they was trying to explain to her they're not going to remember everything like that. I'm looking at the pictures on the bed, and I see the picture of the blue suit, but it's in black and white. I see the guy with the suit on, white shirt, bow tie. But I see me and Puff in there too. And I remember this guy walking up. That's the guy who walked up on her. And I looked at the picture. So I grabbed that picture in a stack of pictures. And I was like, yo, this is the guy right here that Little C said. Why did they have the guy face mushed out in the picture? Now, this is the key. The FBI agent said he saw it himself. He saw the picture himself. When he went back to get the pictures, because he may have had a subpoena or he may have had authorization to get the pictures, the guy said, we never had no picture like that. May have been Katz or somebody. The Katz is one of the officers. He said, are you sure? He said, yeah, we're sure. We never showed Gene Deal that picture. We never showed Gene Deal a picture like that. He said, are you positive? He said, yeah, we're positive. We never showed Gene Deal that. No picture like that. He said,
Well, why he put it in his notes? Why did the police officer put it in the notes that he showed Gene Deal said that this individual right there was the same individual he sees was talking about? Why is it in the notes?
The lawsuits get pretty graphic for real if you read them. Gay stories, that stuff is out of the boys' comics.
They had no answer for that.
Casey files this lawsuit against Puff. Were you surprised, and what was your initial thoughts when you first seen the lawsuit filed?
When the lawsuit was filed, my initial thoughts on that whole thing is that it was based on because she has some celebrity status. You know, I've gotten calls from 2 different women who told me that they were trying to press charges against Puff and wanted to come on my platform and tell the people what he done to them. And they say they couldn't get lawyers to take it. Now you got lawyers willing to take anything anybody has to say. Our justice system is messed up, brother, because if you ask those ladies who are coming out now, they probably tried to get a lawyer to take it long time ago, but they wouldn't because of the powers that be. Now that Puff is losing that power, lawyers are willing to go to court and try to get money from him, from their clients and what people are saying he did to them.
Do you believe everything that she said? Do you think it's all accurate?
I believe what he paid for.
What do you mean by what he paid for? Oh, you mean the 30? Okay, you talking about the settlement that happened the next day.
Right.
So everything that was in the lawsuit.
I don't know all the things that were said, but you're not gonna pay for nothing that you didn't do. So whatever he paid for in that lawsuit, I believe.
You know, in the paperwork, it says that he was addicted to painkillers and ecstasy. Have you ever seen anything like that, or when you were around him?
I knew he was addicted to painkillers, because after that that incident with Kim, he used to have this little white guy he used to meet, or he would have the drivers go get the pills that he was addicted to from this little white guy who was selling him them opioids.
Why do you think it took so long for people to come out and say something?
Like I said before, I don't think it took so long. It took somebody with celebrity status who had a legal team that was willing to go to war for her in order to get some justice for her in a compensation matter in a civil suit. I believe there is a lot of guys, a lot of people in that industry that have done things and people can't get lawyers to go to bat for them.
Yeah, there's been a long list of other celebrities since this happened that it came out, and a lot of other celebrities started to get sued. What do you think about that list? And, is there anything there that you've heard about?
Well, I've heard about a couple of things, but you got to realize is that it's what they can prove. With this Weinstein thing, Weinstein, just take Jimmy Iovine for example. Jimmy Iovine got a lawsuit, but you don't see it on the news. Why? Why you don't see it on the news? People have been coming out saying things that he said that he did to them, but because his publicists and the people that be is not allowing that to go down on him. Puff did some things to some powerful people that
they're calling in their friends and everything, and everybody's taking their hands off of him. So now he's no longer the altar boy, and he's not in their club anymore. Did you hear him on Jimmy Kimmel? He said, yo, I thought we was friends. Jimmy Kimmel knew he wasn't supposed to ask Puff anything about me, but he's not part of the boys club anymore.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.
Listen, bro. Just doing law enforcement myself, just take for instance. I think the individual was a Syracuse former basketball player named Jason Barnes or Beard or something like that. He already had drug charges against him. The day Diddy house get raided, they catch him getting on a plane and they put him into custody. Didn't that sound a little weird? People didn't catch that. They either put him in custody for a couple of reasons. You understand? One, to make a witness out of him, or to safeguard him and protect him for anything that could happen to him, because they had already stated, allegedly, that he was some kind of mule for the people over there at Diddy's house. So now, with that information, that he was already known by the government for drug charges, wouldn't that be an individual that you use? I'm gonna give you something different. And I'm gonna give you something else that people don't even think. On the other day, I seen on the video that Puff had ran into Justin Bieber. They met up and he started tapping him as if he was searching him and see if he had some kind of device on. Did you see that?
Yep.
Check this out. What if the federal government have already talked to Justin Bieber? And Diddy did that on tape.
Diddy is full of tapes. On the raid, the stuff that the feds found was disturbing. Since it all was other celebs, those celebs gotta come out and say they didn't consent to those recordings, but they won't. So Diddy can't be prosecuted for recording guests having fun.
That means in his mind, he think this person may be a witness, right?
Yep.
What he has just done that is against the law.
Nothing that we've seen.
Tampering with a federal witness. If they have already talked to Justin Bieber prior to him doing that, he goes and look like he's searching him. It appears that he's asking Justin Bieber, yo, you got a wire or something like that? Like, you're tampering with a federal witness. That's a charge right there that can land him in jail. Reckless. That was real reckless.
Man, it's gonna be kind of crazy to see everything unfold, man. Well, if worse comes to worse, and Diddy has to do some time, how do you think he's gonna handle it?
Usually individuals acclimate themselves into situations and they do the best that they can do. I just don't think him being a free spirit and off drugs, once he gets into that situation, that he'll handle it that well. I could be wrong.
A lot of people believe he's going to end himself.
Well, I heard him say that before when that City College incident happened. He was talking like that back then. Because he thought it was a possibility that he would be going to jail. He lost his job at Uptown. So he's done a lot of things, been a lot of places. I don't think he has the spirit to be behind bars.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.
Like, how you feel about that record?
Well, first I want to say to this young man, before somebody take his head off, because see, that's that new school bull crap that these kids out here, they easy to fly off their mouth with that. You don't invite a man to your private. You don't invite a man to your private unless you doing the Diddy. If two men lay down, how many homos get up? Let me tell you, young man, 2 of them. You understand? So don't invite a man to your private, because that man will see you and take your head off. Especially somebody like 50. You don't send or let a boy do a man's job. I don't know if he need that type of attention or he want that type of attention. Evidently he do. But 50 is the wrong dude that you want to do that type of attention, get that kind of attention from, bro. In the infamous words of Waka Flocka, that nigga go hard in the paint. And I don't believe that this cat would even put out some trash like that and really didn't know what he was doing. He's teasing the federal government. And I told y'all, the Southern District of New York do not play. So King Kong just put another battery in their back. And you see after he did that shit, something get leaked to the press. Do you notice that, right? Soon as he did that dumb shit, talking about, well, we did this and we did that. We had this over here. Y'all went to the wrong house. Some went to, he said, well, we're going to show you how wrong we are. Yo, CNN, run this. Action, roll them. Don't play with the feds, bro. Because you got to realize this. They got a lot of time. All they got is time. Yo, they gonna sit there, people sitting up there and they want something. See, people like a fix. They need that fix real quick. They want them to hurry up and charge Diddy with something or see what they got on him. The feds gonna take their time. May take 6 months, may take a year, may take 2 years. They got up to 3 years to bring their case up. They got 3 years. So they checking everything about them. They gonna dot all the I's and cross all the T's.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people feel like he played a part in that video coming out. You know, him making a comment saying that, you know, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was wilding out, man.
Yeah, I think he was just bullshitting. I don't believe he bought the house next door. Because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government gonna run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York. But they did a raid in New York too.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that raid. I only heard about the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Kong's comments.
Oh man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years, and I had the opportunity to see HIDA. It's a place, whereas they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. Whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
Some people feel like, Diddy, he played a part in that video coming out too. Him being spotted with Stevie J, smiling at the camera. A lot of people blame him too.
But bro, what did I tell you? He's such a narcissist that he has to be in the public. Yo, listen to me. They just caught him on TMZ today or yesterday or something like that, walking out and about. Now, I'm not telling the man what to do, what he couldn't do. I don't know if the government told he couldn't travel nowhere, he couldn't be nowhere and stuff like that. But why are you going to go outside your own compound where TMZ and every other place is waiting on you? You're not going to get any public sympathy. That's why he had that picture of him and his father around his neck. You're not going to get no sympathy. You're done. Stick a fork in it. Call it a quit. Apologize to Big's mother for putting her son in that position that he loses his life. It's crazy. He better do a Russell Simmons.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that, man. They saying that he gonna pull a Russell Simmons.
Well, anything's possible, bro, but I don't know if the feds will allow him since they got an open investigation on him.
We'd love to hear what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe.